Arlene Hahn of Waxahachie has found her place in life. In a workroom in her home, Arlene spends a large portion of her days knitting garments and making other items for those whose needs are pressing. Among the beneficiaries of her goodwill are premature infants, born too small for ordinary clothing. Arlene's garments will be the first and sometimes the last items that these preemies will ever wear.
And about 8 years ago, when we moved here, I didn't know anyone, and I just wanted something constructive to do. I asked God to give me a ministry that used my skills. And I kind of stumbled on a group online called All Crafts for Charity that make items for charity. And just fell in love with the idea that I could use my skills, my equipment, my resources to make garments that would meet the needs of preemies, burial gowns for preemies that ministered to families, garments for the pregnancy center here in town who wanted to encourage moms and give them things they needed for their babies. So I make things like baby afghans. I make sweater sets and booties, hats and bonnets. I do make burial gowns. It's a sad thing, but a very important thing. Sometimes a child, the only garment they'll ever wear is a garment that I made. And this is the actual burial bunting for the baby. It's very easy to dress. You lay the baby in and just tie the ribbons to, then the parents can say goodbye, and they actually have a garment that they can bury the child in.
Arlene's keen eye for her craft has produced innovative results. After learning of a hand-knitting pattern based on a one-piece garment that was discovered on an ancient mummy, Arlene adapted the pattern for faster production and restyled it so that infants could be dressed more easily.
It's an unusual sweater. It's entirely knitted in one piece. You start here and knit up and shape. When it's done, you fold the sides in, fold the sleeves down, and that's basically the sweater. I'll add ribbing and a rib band around the front.
Arlene is not alone in her work. She is part of a nationwide network of volunteers who donate their efforts and materials as the need arises, not just for children and adults in need, but also for men and women in the armed forces.
Shortly after 9/11, a group of us that were part of the online group, All Crafts for Charity, we decided to make items for 60 women on board the USS Bataan. They were cold. When you're on a ship, anything at water level or below is 55 degrees all the time, so it's pretty chilly. They were freezing, and so we made them slippers and hats and mittens and scarves. And an officer on the ship heard about it and asked us if we'd do the entire ship. There were 3,000 on the entire ship. So we were really busy from October to December that year making garments or items, warm items for the people on board that ship. That project has taken on a life of its own. It's called the Ships Project. And there are, I think, around 1,000 volunteers like myself around the country that make items for the military. They go through the hands of one person in Florida who has security clearance, and she can ship out a box from Florida on one day, and it arrives in Iraq in less than 3. She's got great connections because the military appreciates and values what she's doing and what we're doing.
Arlene and the others in her network receive no compensation for their work and keep their donations anonymous. Just knowing that they're improving the lives of others is all the reward they need.